You know those golden arches, right? They're practically a landmark, almost a universal symbol. You see them everywhere.
They really are ubiquitous. Hard to miss.
Yeah, whether you're driving down a highway here at home or, exploring some new city overseas, McDonald's just seems like this unwavering constant.
In a world that's, well, anything but constant.
Right. So the question that kind of makes you stop and think is, how does a company that, well, looks pretty straightforward on the surface, how does it manage to be so incredibly resilient?
Especially when you see other huge names, even right there in the fast food space, hitting major turbulence. It's a good question.
Exactly. So today we're taking a deep dive into that exact paradox. We've gathered a stack of insights looking at McDonald's recent rebound, its deep-rooted business strengths.
And crucially, some potential pitfalls, too. Things that could still trip them up.
Yes, absolutely. Our mission for this deep dive is really to uncover the true core formula behind that enduring success, the secret sauce, you might say, that keeps them winning.
And that core formula, our sources really suggest it rests on three simple but pretty sturdy foundations. You've got consistently decent food.
Okay.
Offered at a decent price, and it's all held together by some exceptionally catchy marketing.
Right, the three pillars.
Exactly. And what's fascinating is that whenever one or maybe more of these pillars has weakened, McDonald's, despite its sheer size, has historically found itself in, well, significant trouble.
So these aren't just nice-to-haves, they're critical.
We're the very levers that seem to predict McDonald's rise or fall. Really fundamental.
Okay, let's unpack this then maybe with a very recent example, because you might actually be surprised to hear that McDonald's shares, they lost a pretty significant 16% of their value just between January and July of this year, 2024.
16%, wow.
It was their worst half-yearly run since the global financial crisis back in 2007-09. That's a serious wobble for a company like McDonald's.
That is a big deal. So what was driving that?
What was the core reason they hit that particular rough patch?
It was, and the key reason our sources point to for that recent wobble, it really boils down to affordability, especially here in America.
Affordability. Okay.
Yeah. Post-pandemic inflation had pushed average McDonald's prices up by, get this, 40% since 2019. 40%.
Wow. That's huge.
It really is. It got to the point where you had these videos going viral online of like $148 Big Mac combos. Obviously exaggerations, but it tapped into real frustration.
So consumers were really feeling it, especially, I imagine, those on tighter budgets.
Precisely. They were feeling the pinch and maybe starting to look elsewhere.
And, it's not the first time they've hit a rough patch like this either. If you look back, our sources actually describe a near collapse between late 1999 and early 2003.
Right. I remember that period. They shed, 2/3 of their market value?
Exactly. 2/3. The causes back then were a bit different, though. It was things like overly rapid expansion, just opening too many stores too fast.
Okay.
And too many products on the menu, which actually started hurting their famous reliability. Things got slower.
Complexity creep.
Yeah. And then there was a fierce price war with Burger King. And frankly, their advertising had gotten pretty stale.
So a mix of internal and external pressures back then.
Right. So given those historical lessons, how did McDonald's respond to this most recent challenge, the 2024 price issue?
Well, their response was pretty strategic and, importantly, swift. In July of this year, 2024, they launched a $5 meal deal.
$5 meal deal? Okay. What was in it?
It included a burger, fries, nuggets, and a fizzy drink. Pretty straightforward value.
Back to basics.
Exactly. Then in January, and the sources implied this was January 2024 as well, leading into the year, they evolved this. It became the McValue menu.
The McValue menu. How is that different?
It combined that $5 meal concept with other offers, like a buy one, add one for $5 deal, and importantly, a lot of digital-only promotions through their app.
Pushing people to the app, smart.
Very smart. They essentially went right back to their roots. Value, value, value.
But it wasn't just about the price cuts, was it? They really turned up the heat on their marketing, too, and that's where things got, well, kind of fascinating.
Oh, yeah. What stood out?
Well, that McValue menu got a very memorable face. None other than John Cena.
John Cena. The wrestler turned Hollywood star.
The very same. Big, beefy, kind of aligns with the value message, I guess.
Interesting choice. High visibility, for sure.
Definitely. And then, in another really smart move, back in March and April, they did this Minecraft movie meals collaboration.
Minecraft. Okay, tapping into the gaming world.
Exactly, and it was so popular that the collectibles included with the meals actually ran out within 2 weeks. It was supposed to be a multi-week campaign.
Wow. Ran out. That's a measure of success, I suppose.
Yeah.
Any hiccups along the way?
Well, just for context, there was a brief food safety issue back in October, a sort of minor snafu, but thankfully it turned out to be a pretty minor blip in what was otherwise a really strong period for them.
Good to know. So it sounds like these strategies, the value focus and the marketing push, they worked.
It certainly seems like they paid off. On August 6th, McDonald's unveiled some truly robust results for the second quarter, their revenue. Up 5% year on year to $6.8 billion.
$6.8 billion in a quarter. Still massive.
And what's really interesting here is where that revenue came from, primarily from franchise license fees, royalties, and rents.
So it's the money the store owners pay back to corporate.
Precisely. Payments for the right to operate under the Golden Arches and use their system. It highlights their business model.
Right. And what about sales at the actual stores? Did people start coming back?
They did. That's maybe even more indicative of the comeback. Same-store sales were up 3.8% globally.
Okay, globally.
And 2.5% here in America. Now, that might not sound huge, but it's a significant improvement after 4 straight quarters of no growth or even decline.
That turnaround is key, breaking that negative streak.
Definitely. Plus, get this. McDonald's operating margin, how much profit they make from each dollar of sales before taxes and interest, which is already the envy of the industry.
Always incredibly high for them.
It topped 47% in the quarter. That's only happened 4 times in the company's entire history.
47%. That's an incredible number. Shows phenomenal efficiency, or maybe pricing power returning, or both.
Both, probably. And investors. They are definitely loving it. McDonald's market value jumped 3% right after that earnings announcement, hitting $221 billion.
So the market liked what it heard.
Clearly. And they're outperforming rivals, too. Just the day before.
Yeah.
Yum. Brands that's KFC, Pizza Hut, Taco Bell, their stocks slipped.
Okay.
And the stocks of Shake Shack and Chipotle, those slightly fancier, fast casual chains, they actually crashed by about 1/5 in the past month.
Wow, 1/5. So McDonald's is weathering the storm much better.
Seems that way. They appear uniquely positioned to withstand these economic currents.
So what's fascinating here is why. Why does McDonald's seem to withstand these shocks better than its competitors?
That's the core question, isn't it?
And a huge reason, maybe the core reason, is its franchise model. Franchisees, independent owners, manage a whopping 95% of its 13,500 American stores.
95%. That's almost all of them.
Almost all. And it's a similar share for its 30,000 or so stores outside the U.S. This isn't just, a business structure. It's like a built-in buffer.
A buffer against what, exactly?
Well, it acts as a significant shield against cost pressures. Think about something like tariffs or rising ingredient costs.
Okay.
For company-owned chains like Chipotle or Shake Shack, those costs hit their bottom line directly. But for McDonald's, those costs, they're largely borne by the franchisees.
So the corporation itself is somewhat insulated.
Very much so. To put some numbers on it, JP Morgan Chase did a calculation. They figured it would take a 7.5% increase in costs for McDonald's itself to feel just a 1% hit to its net profit.
Okay, 7.5% cost increase leads to only 1% profit hit.
Right. Now compare that to Chipotle. Just a 2.5% cost increase could dent their net profit by 4%. And for Shake Shack, that same 2.5% cost bump could hit their profit by 9%.
Wow. That really shows the difference that model makes. It's a structural advantage.
It's a huge structural advantage.
Yeah.
It provides real robustness.
And speaking of resilience, that structure also connects to their incredible global reach, doesn't it?
Absolutely. McDonald's operates in over 100 countries, and a full 60% of its revenues are earned in currencies other than the U.S. dollar.
60%. That's a lot more international exposure than rival.
Way more. Compare it to Yum Brands, which is also global, but they're at 43%. Then you have Shake Shack at just 3%, and Chipotle at only 2% foreign revenue.
So how does that help them, earning in all those different currencies?
Well, it provides another layer of resilience, almost like a natural hedge, when the U.S. dollar is weaker against other currencies.
Which it has been at times.
Exactly. Those foreign sales, when converted back into dollars for reporting, are actually worth more. So a softer dollar can actually boost their reported revenue and profit.
That's clever. So they have the franchise buffer and this currency buffer? 2
powerful shock absorbers built right into the business model.
Okay, this all sounds incredibly positive, almost too good to be true. But before we, assume everything is golden for McDonald's, let's consider the lingering questions. What are the potential pitfalls? Are there clouds on the horizon even amidst this impressive rebound?
It's definitely not all smooth sailing. There are snags, real challenges. First, there's a demographic challenge. That frugal menu, the value focus, it disproportionately attracts lower-income consumers.
Okay, that makes sense.
And the company's own CEO, Chris Kempczinski, admitted this on their latest earnings call. He said these diners continue to feel a lot of anxiety and unease about the economy.
So that core customer group is still struggling.
They are. And Dennis Geiger over at UBS noted that some of them are even opting for groceries over eating out entirely. That's a significant behavior shift, buying food at the supermarket instead of getting takeout.
That's a direct threat then. So what's the core tension here?
The core tension is that McDonald's risks becoming, how did one source put it, too pricey for the poor and not posh enough for the less so.
Stuck in the middle.
Kind of. If you have a bit more money, maybe you look at alternatives like, say, Chili's, which offers a $10.99 meal deal, but with waiters and a different dining experience.
Right. It's not just about the absolute lowest price point for everyone.
Exactly. So they're trying to appeal to the budget conscious, but can they also keep attracting people with slightly fatter wallets? It's tricky.
And then there's the internal tension, isn't there? The real McDilemma, maybe. They need to keep prices low for us, the consumers.
Right, to drive traffic.
But they also have to keep their franchisees happy. And those two things seem like they're pulling in opposite directions right now.
Absolutely. Because remember, the franchisees set their own prices. That's why a Big Mac can cost, what was the example, $4.36 in Austin, but over $7 in Seattle.
Right. Huge variation depending on local costs and decisions.
So when corporate pushes these national McValue menus, it might actually squeeze those franchisees really hard, especially as their own costs, labor, ingredients, rent continue to balloon.
Could it push them to a breaking point, as one source suggested?
That's the concern. How sustainable is that strategy long term if your operators aren't making enough money? It's a real balancing act.
So while McDonald's is definitely in maybe a sweet spot right now, riding this value wave.
Yes, the results look good for now.
That delicate balance between keeping customers happy with affordable meals and keeping those crucial franchisees profitable, that remains a critical, ongoing challenge for the Golden Arches.
It really does. This isn't a problem that just gets solved and goes away. It's something they'll constantly have to manage.
So thinking about that ongoing struggle for McDonald's, trying to juggle affordability for customers, happiness for franchisees, and that slick marketing, maybe you teach us or tell us about the broader economic anxieties that are shaping how everyone is spending their money today.
Yeah.
And how might that impact even those businesses that seem totally unshakable, businesses you encounter every day, far beyond just the world of fast food? Something to mull over next time you see those Golden Arches.